Hello, everyone. My name is Chris from CCI, California, and today we have a very special guest. We've got Chuck from Western Outdoor News. How are you, Chuck?
Good, man. I'm good, Chris. How's it going over there?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I know we're gonna wait a couple minutes for everyone to come in, but man, it's been. I swear, I think I last saw you at the Tuna Jackpot back in August at the Marlin Club, and I feel like that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a whirlwind ever since, too, nonstop, all the way through the winter. A lot of good stuff going on.
Absolutely. What have you been up to during the quarantine here?
Well, planning tournaments and events for the most part. So after we last saw each other, we had our one bass event, our U.S. Open down at Lake Mead. And then within 2 weeks, we were down in Cabos, San Lucas at the Tuna Jackpot tournament. We host a ton of fishing charters every year. We have, I think, over 30 this year. So it's a lot of planning and coordination, and plus just, producing the paper every week, of course, and the website. So yeah, we've got a lot happening here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just planning the tournaments and the charters and all that stuff on our end, with you guys going on almost, on a weekly basis. I can't imagine the workload there.
It takes an army. We have, it's a big, it's a close-knit little family here, and everybody wears multiple hats and helps out wherever they can, because, some of these events have a couple hundred people. Others, like the Tuna tournament in Cabo, we regularly host over 1,000 people at that event. So it's fun, to say the least. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's check in with the comments here. We got Mr. Mike Hatcher checking in. How are you, Mike? Robert Graber, how are you? Todd from TB Metal Art is here. How's it going, Todd? Excellent. Well, Chuck, let's get into it. What can you tell us a little bit about your background and where you come from and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I grew up here in Southern California. So I've been in the tackle industry my whole life. I started working in a tackle shop back when I was 15, which was over 40 years ago, for a guy named Bob Solomon, who now owns Save on Tackle. So I did that for a few years through high school, and I fell in love with this industry as a fisherman. I thought, what a cool way to make a living if I can figure this out. And I went from working for Bob at a shop that was then called Sportsman Supply, to working for a fishing tackle distributor that was based in Glendale, California. That was a company called Western Hoagie, which actually started in 1886, selling fishing tackle and shooting sports equipment. And I did that for almost 20 years before I came here to Western Outdoor News. I've been here for about 15 years now. I'm a short timer here, only being here for 15 years.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, exactly. I know, that's kind of, it's interesting where, you come from the retail, from the manufacturer side, and then also, all of a sudden, all the way to journalism. That's kind of a big jump there.
It's a big jump. Thank God I'm not one of the writers here. For the sake of all of our subscribers, they can rest assured we have trained writers who produce all the articles and stories for us. I work more on the general management of the company and working with the manufacturers on that side of the business.
Excellent. Checking back in here. Denise Davis, how are you? San Diego Anglers are in the house. How are you guys? Mr. Dave Rohde, William Davis, how are you? Awesome. Well, you kind of mentioned on the writing side, tell us a little bit about Western Outdoor News, the whole process. I know, some of us, being a English major in college, I, definitely like to write and all that stuff. I'm sure some of our viewers like to as well. But
sure.
Tell us about the newspaper and the process and how it gets printed.
Yeah, good question. It is a rather complex process, and we have two full-time editors here in the office. We're based in San Clemente, and we have a small army of contributors who provide us with fish reports every single week, fishing and hunting reports. So what's so unique about Western Outdoor News is every single week we report on everything going on in fishing and hunting from the Oregon border all the way to the tip of Baja. And it doesn't matter if it's Eastern Sierra, it doesn't matter if it's 50 miles off the coast or down the coast of Baja. We collect those reports every week. And during the course of the week, the guys are preparing their stories. And on Sunday nights, they collect the vast majority of the reports from all of our contributors. And all of that gets laid out in the actual publication on Monday during the day. Monday evening, it goes to print. And on Tuesday afternoon, our digital edition is already up on our website. And the paper goes out to the mailers. It gets printed and mailed. So some people get it in their mailboxes as early as Thursday. Some of us get it on Fridays. But that's a process we go through every single week. So to say the least, there's no downtime here. And it's fun. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, it's got to be a benefit for all your online subscribers too, just to get, that information that much quicker all the way from the most past weekend as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. We just changed our digital edition platform. We just purchased some new software, and it's super user-friendly for the readers. They can view it on their cell phones, and it's the same software that the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal use. So it's got some really cool features in it, and you can check the fish reports online very easily right off your cell phone.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Actually, a quick question for me: has one ever been? Has it always been a weekly publication, or was there biweekly or daily in the past?
No, good question. Actually, one has been a weekly publication since 1953. This is Western Outdoor News is a family-owned company, and our founder's father started the paper in 53. And the second generation are the owners of the company now. And some of the kids work here as well. But yeah, it's always been family owned, and every single week. It's just that the company's expanded and changed as we've kind of progressed over the years. We used to just be a publication, and now we're a publication and we're an event company. We do everything from family style fishing events. We have a trout derby in a couple of weeks at Lake Cuyamaca. We do the Lake Havasu Striper Derby, which has been going on for over 30 years. We have 3 different professional level bass fishing tournaments. Those are our one bass events. The Big Bear Trout Fest happens every October. That's another family derby. And we now have, and this is the new one this year, the California Yellowtail Jackpot. That's going to happen in June down in San Diego. And the California Tuna Jackpot happens in August, both down at the Marlin Club. And, the big one for us is the Los Cabos Tuna Jackpot, which happens every November, which is a really cool event. So we have all those events. And on top of that, we'll have at least 30 different fishing charters this year where anglers can go out with one of our writers on a hosted trip. We've got great sponsors, prizes, and giveaways on the trip. And there's always a story that ends up online or in the paper following each trip.
Wow, that's excellent. I mean, you're just with all the charters, just with all the events, you're pretty busy.
We're pretty busy. We sometimes look back on it after the course of the year and say, "Oh my God, how do we do that? How do we pull all this off?" But yeah, it's fun. It keeps us hopping, that's for sure.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Wayne says, "Hi, Chuck and Chris. How are you, Wayne?"
Hey, buddy.
San Diego Anglers has a question. How do you guys connect with clubs, and what kind of partnerships or services are available?
Yeah, easy. If any clubs have any interest, we're always happy to produce or rather publish their club events in our calendar section. All they have to do is email us here at Western Outdoor News. Excellent. Always happy to help.
Excellent.
Yeah.
William has a question. If you could list out all the boats and landings at least once a year, promoting, danskids.org. If you can start editing and highlighting clubs again, please. I guess that might be a suggestion.
Oh, yeah, okay. To his question, I think he might have been asking us about the boats and landings.
Yeah.
Those are all posted right now on the homepage of our website. Across the top banner of the homepage, you'll see a little listing that says sport boats. And if you click on that, it'll list every boat and every landing. Let's see, from Morro Bay all the way down to San Diego. It may even go all the way up to Northern California now that I think about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Steve Carson's checking in. How are you, Steve? Hope to see you soon here, my friend. I have subscribed since 1966.
Thank you, Stephen.
Awesome. Jeremy's checking in. Robert has a question. Are you considering going digital only with a weekly email link to make subscriber access even easier?
We're going digital. We're going digital right now every other week. And we're kind of torn on which way to go. We have some subscribers that want us to go back to print every single week. We publish a Western Outdoor News every week. Every other week, however, it's a digital only issue. And to answer his question about the link, it's up on our website now on the homepage. Right on the homepage, you will see a link that says digital edition. So it's available now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Robert also said that he started his subscription since 1972. Wow.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of talk about that. You know, obviously with the journalism, the way it is now compared to even 10 years ago or 20 years ago,
yeah, it's
changed remarkably. And I know, Western Outdoor News has really kind of been up and about and even proactive on those changes too.
For sure, for sure. We try to keep very current on the content that's in the publication. And we try to have a mix of making sure we get as many fish reports and hunting reports in the publication as possible every single week, while still having some feature articles and content. Whether it's a how-to article or it's an article about the biology of a specific species. I know we've got actually, I think, a 4-part series coming up here pretty soon on bluefin. We always try to provide the readers with as much quality content and as wide a breadth of content as possible. It's important to us. I like a lot of our readers, like guys like Steve, Mr. Carson, I've been looking at Western Outdoor News my whole life. I started looking at the photos in Western Outdoor News before I knew how to read. So it's very special to us, and we're always looking for suggestions on new articles or new content. Readers can always reach us by emailing us at editors@wonews.com, and they can email me as well at my email, which is chuck@wonews.com.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, with the subscriptions available with both the print and the online edition, can people opt to receive both or one or the other? Yes.
So when someone purchases a subscription for $39.95 a year, they get the print and they automatically get the digital edition as well. And right now, normally this past week we would have been at Fred Hall Show. And we literally sell a couple thousand subscriptions just at that show. A lot of people come by and renew, and I'm sure they'll remember we'd be giving them spools of line or lures or little premium items. And obviously we couldn't do that this year. So this year's special, what would have been the Fred Hall Show special, which is up right now on our website, is when you purchase a subscription for $40, we send you a Western Outdoor News t-shirt. And that gets you the subscription in print and online, and it gets you the shirt. But there are some people who don't want the print. And they absolutely can order a digital only subscription on the site. A digital can be had for as little as $2.99 for a month, or they can buy it for the whole year for 25 bucks. And yeah, they get that early. So the digital guys have a little bit, anybody who looks at it digitally has a little bit of a leg up because like we said, they'll see it on Tuesdays.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you had mentioned, Fred Hall would have been this week. And I mean, I know you probably feel the same way. We definitely missed the show, and we really hope that we could have done another show this year, but with the cards that we were dealt, not really.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. It breaks our heart. That shows, I know how Bart feels about it, and Mike Lemon, the guys there, but it hurts us all. It's a very important thing for our industry and for all the anglers out there, not just the manufacturers. And, hopefully it'll be back next year.
Yeah. And, speaking of the show, I know we were really close to Western Outdoor News, like right through that hall, through that hallway.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, for sure. Just checking in here. Gary Brennan has a question. How are you, Gary? Can you get a promo code instead of a t-shirt?
Can you get a promo code? Not quite sure I know what he means by that.
I know you would mention if you opt into one, you would get a Western Outdoor News t-shirt. Is there a promo code to, I guess, a subscription or another subscription or whatnot?
Meaning can you get a second subscription instead of? I'll have to look. We had that on our website earlier in the spring. We have different offers at different times of year. We've even had, we actually did one over Christmas time where you bought a subscription and you can buy a second subscription at half price. So that one's not available right now, but it will be later on during the course of the year. Typically that one, to answer Gary's question, usually comes around in the fall.
Excellent.
Yeah.
San Diego Angler says, is there an app available? If not, is there one in the works?
There's not an app in the works right now. The closest thing we have is the digital version of the publication, which if you were to look at the digital version, it pretty much takes care of most of what an app would take care of in our situation. And, our website does too. If you save the icon on your home screen, the new website at Western Outdoor News is super user-friendly, and you can browse fish reports. You can check on the different sport boats, sign up for events and tournaments. It's all very easy to navigate through. Yeah,
absolutely. And I can definitely vouch for that. Just being a subscriber myself of the online edition, it's super user-friendly, super easy to use. So definitely well done on that. You had talked about all these different events. I know CCA was very fortunate to hook up with Western Outdoor News last year on the Tuna Jackpot back in August. I know you've got the Yellowtail Jackpot coming up in June now.
Right. That's a new event for us this year. And actually, we just heard word from our friends at Suzuki a couple days ago. They've signed on as the title sponsor of that event. And first place is going to be a brand new outboard, a 115 or 140 horse Suzuki motor. We think that event's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some cool sponsors like Penn, Gamakatsu, Seagar, and we're looking for somewhere between 75 to 100 boats. It's going to be at the Marlin Club again in San Diego, which is a fantastic venue, and hopefully the weather cooperates and the fish bite.
Yeah. Oh, you guys aren't messing around with Suzuki, man. First place gets you an outboard. Holy smokes.
They're really cool. Suzuki's based right here in Southern California. Suzuki United States, rather, is in Brea. And they are going to award a certificate for a brand new motor. And, for some reason, the guy who gets a certificate decides he wants a 150 or 175, a 200. They'll just upgrade them. He'll just pay the difference and get the bigger motor. Yeah, they're super supportive. And we'll be supporting, last year at the Tuna tournament, a portion of all the jackpot optionals went to our friends at Make-A-Wish, because, the Make-A-Wish tuna tournament, of course, with COVID didn't happen last year either. And that's such a great charity, and anglers have always supported it. So we didn't want to just see that go away. So we'll be supporting that tournament again, or that cause rather, Make-A-Wish, at both the tuna tournament and at the Yellowtail Jackpot. And it'll be a simple, the Yellowtail tournament will be a simple one-day event. Check in the night before, go fishing, come back for weigh-in, and hopefully you win a few things and get a little cash and a motor.
I was just about to say, there's so many opportunities to win so many different things in those jackpot tournaments. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I know, I've noticed during those, check-ins and all that, just because the tournaments in San Diego, you guys can, or participants can actually check in all of, at tackle stores all across the Southern California, right?
Yes, we've done that before. And, we may be doing that again for the San Diego event, for the Yellowtail event. We had guys come all the way from Santa Barbara for the tuna tournament last year. They towed their boats down. So, we're expecting another decent crowd this year for sure.
Excellent. And, as regulations ease and, just people, I don't know about you, but I've come across so many different people just wanting to go out, go fishing, and just get out of their house after the whole year hiatus.
Amen. We're the same way here. All of it. We're all anglers here. Everybody here in the office fishes. So, we like to get out every chance we have, for sure.
Excellent. Todd from CB Mental Art says, when was the first publication of Western Outdoor News?
That's a great question. There's a funny story behind that, because the family was honestly trying to figure that out in the office. And everybody thought it was 1954. And the owners of the company, the Twillingers, live here in San Clemente. And they didn't realize they had the first issue framed up on the wall in their house, and it was 1953. So yeah, it goes way back. We're getting close to 70 years here.
I was just doing the math in my head. That's 70. That's almost 70 years. Any big plans for that birthday party there?
I'm sure we'll have something special going on for the 70th anniversary for sure. Yeah. One more. We have another year to plan it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's talk about, that reach. I know Western Outdoor News, you said it yourself, all the way from the Oregon border, all the way up to the tip of Baja. That's quite a bit. And you've got writers and all that everywhere in between as well.
Yes.
Any plans to either grow that or just to kind of get more, I guess, elaborate or whatnot?
Yeah. We kind of spill over a little bit into Arizona because of the desert lakes, because of Havasu and Mojave and Meade, and to an extent into Nevada with Pyramid Lake and Tahoe. But honestly, we're kind of maxed out right now, and we're keeping the publication and our content on the reporting side rather kind of contained to the geographic area that we know. We'll do feature stories, boating stories. For sake of argument, we had the people from Gray Taxidermy down in Florida on our podcast. Things like that are of interest to people, we'll certainly do. But the core of our tournaments and events and the reporting will pretty much for this foreseeable future be right here on the West Coast.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mike Hatcher is asking, when is the San Diego Tuna Shootout? I believe that's in August, right?
San Diego Tuna is going to be in August. It's, I believe, the second week of August. And all of the information on the event, all the information dates can be found on our website by clicking on the events tab at the top of the site.
Excellent. Simple enough. Simple enough.
Yeah.
With, you had mentioned usually that content for I guess that preview or that week usually goes out in the mail on Tuesday. It gets updated online. Between that Tuesday and Friday, out of curiosity, is there any, I guess real-time updates and all that gets added to the online website as well?
Yes, if anything comes in that is really super newsworthy and significant, it goes up on the website right away. Yeah, we won't hold it for the next week's paper. The paper's primarily fish reports, but for sake of argument, we had someone call us from Puerto Vallarta to say they had a yellowfin that was over 440. Now, you know, when someone says that, we will kind of question it. So we ask for photos and a weight on a certified scale. Had that all come together, that would have went up on the website immediately, and it would have been posted on our social media just to call attention to it and let people know. But yeah, no, we don't. When it's something that's really truly newsworthy like that, we announce it right away.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. That 440, that's a big tuna, man.
Yeah, what we found out was the fish was taped, and they did an estimate, but it wasn't weighed. So kind of hard to. And for some reason, we haven't been able to get the photos of that one. So
coincidentally. Yeah. With your reach, obviously from, all over California and in Mexico as well, approximately, how many writers do you typically have? And, can someone actually submit something without being a writer?
Oh, absolutely. We get people submitting stories all the time to Western Outdoor News, and we encourage that. And by the way, we're looking for another writer right now. We have a part-time editor's position open. The guys are so busy here, they need a little help. So we're always looking for good qualified writers. We're always looking for good qualified writers to go out and host our charters too, because we have so many of them that at times they're on top of each other in our schedule, and we have a little bit of a manpower shortage. So yeah, for sure. We're always looking for good stories and good guys.
Awesome. Yeah. For sure. I remember, just off the top of my head, I remember, a big story. So I got into fishing because of my grandfather and so on and so forth. And I can't tell you how many times my cousin actually made the cover once for a trout years ago.
Oh,
and
sure.
I can't tell you how many other stories I've heard from other people, just really kind of being super stoked just to be on the cover of Western Outdoor News. It's like some kind of title that they earn, and that's certainly the case.
Yeah, thank you. It's a big deal. I was on the cover once years ago, and I still have that at home. It's framed up on the wall. Every week we have multiple photos that are considered for the cover of Western Outdoor News. And, it really just takes a good quality photo of a good quality catch or kill. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's our audience. That's what we all love. And, it could be a little rainbow trout. It could be a steelhead. It could be a huge tuna, anything in between. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There's something special about, there's something about the credibility, I guess, validity of print, because it's more, it's more enduring. It's all cool. We all, at one time or another, are up on the web now. We're all posted on social media and whatnot, but it's kind of fleeting. It comes and goes. And I guess depending on who you are and what's posted on social media, you hope it goes quicker, right? Yeah, no, it's special for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Carrie has a question. How are you, Carrie? I know we kind of answered this, but will you be hosting any events or tournaments on the sport boats?
Yes, tons. And some of those are actual tournaments. We have multi-boat tournaments. The next one, let's see, is the Rockfish Rumble. That's out of Ventura Harbor. That is the first week of April. And the next major event after that with multi-boats is the San Diego Offshore Jackpot down in the basin. That's leaving Thursday night, June 24th. 2 boats out of Fisherman's, the Condor and the Tomahawk, 2 boats out of Point Loma, the New Loan and the T-Bird. And out of H&M Landing, we will have the Dive Pacific and the Legend. And we may have a couple more boats yet to come after that. So yeah, fun little tournament. Actually a lot of money on the line for the Jackpot fish. And Dye was a huge sponsor of that event. There'll be all kinds of cool rods and reels and prizes available.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Wayne says, still on the bucket list to make the cover of Western Outdoor News.
Keep trying, buddy. Don't give up. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of, the print and online editions and all that, not recently, but, CCA and Western Outdoor News have actually been partnering up the last couple of weeks and last couple of months on doing those guest editorials and all that, just trying to get the information out. And we definitely appreciate that.
Oh, for sure. Well, we appreciate what you guys are doing. And we want to make sure that there's a regular, consistent platform for you guys to get that message out. This is important. What you guys do is important to all of us. It should be important to all of us as anglers, as people in the industry, because what you're doing to preserve our sport is critical.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, Chuck,
yeah.
For sure. I know, well, speaking of CCA, I know it's just a couple of weeks, I guess almost a month ago, you guys just released a podcast as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's something new. It's interesting. Brad Vanzel, our podcast host, actually did his first podcast 10 years ago. And it was kind of something he did just out of high school, just for fun. And, life kind of got in the way and he set it aside, and he approached us and asked us if he could do a Western Outdoor News podcast. So he's a great host. He's very easy to listen to. And our goal every week is going to be to produce a podcast that gives you a little bit of fishing information and reporting off of what's in the paper that week in the latest edition of Western Outdoor News, but also to have some great guests on the podcast. People who the average angler wouldn't normally have an opportunity to speak with or learn about. And we've had all kinds of great guests. Well, I mean, we had Bill Shedd on. We had the people from Great Taxidermy in Florida talking about their satellite fish tagging program. Doug Lasco, the president of Okuma, was on with us, and Mike Lum. And we've got many, many more guests scheduled coming up here in the future. We want to make it fun and interesting for our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely appreciate the podcast to where, listening to Brad and all these special guests, where not only you're getting a little bit of, a fishing report and a little bit of I guess the cliff notes of the issue of that week, but you guys are really taking deep dives into these people that we all know. But I've learned so much about, not only Bill Shedd, but Mike Lum, someone who we love to death here at CCA and as an executive board member as well.
Right. Yeah, that's our goal. We're kind of fortunate because we, our customers are all over the country, and people like Yamaha and Mercury Outboard, Suzuki, Seagar, Penn, and within all of these companies, there are some very, very interesting personalities and characters. We've got a lot of stuff lined up in the future. I'm not going to say too much, only because I've got to coordinate all this around Brad's schedule so he can get all these guys committed and on the book, so to speak. But I think if our listeners were to subscribe to it, they'd enjoy what they hear.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I think just as a subscriber myself, and just, I could really appreciate just the podcast platform, which you guys have really done an excellent job at doing just in the last month or so, just with it starting. And it's gotten off to a really great start too.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll just hope to keep growing it from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of which, I know Wayne just popped at a comment on the need all organizations support our AB 817 coalition letter, which is absolutely true. Chuck, I'm not sure if you know, but AB 817, that's actually our 365-day license bill.
Yes. Yes. And nobody wants it more than I do personally. Yeah. No, I'm a big believer in it. That in so many states, that's the way it is. It's a 365-day license. California is a tough state in many, many ways, as we all know. And, it's just not fair to anglers. A lot of people don't even get out on the water until after Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend, or after Memorial Day over the summer. So they're buying a fishing license where, they're getting 3 or 4 months of use out of it. And it's just not right.
Yeah. And, it's kind of funny because I'm working on a piece right now on it. And it's interesting because you kind of get not only the guys that get it January 1st, that always applied to them, but also the guys that pick it up on March 1st with the Rockfish opener. Yep. And, not only you're capturing those guys, but also you're getting the guys that are going fishing in, the heat of the season where you're doing it in August, September, even October, when the bluefin are around, the yellowfin, it's wide open and all that. You're adding value to their license as well, to where you're kind of enticing them and challenging them to get out on the water more because they're getting truly a 365-day license at that point of the year.
Absolutely. And if they're out on the water more, they're buying more fishing tackle, which generates more fishing tackle excise tax revenue, which is good for our industry. It's in all of our best interest. So yeah, we're hopeful this one's going to get through this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Wayne said, if you have an organization or a logo, we'd love to have you sign on to our support letter. Just shoot us an email or contact us at cca.california.org. But speaking of the issue again, I know you guys just released your springtime issue as well.
Yeah, that was our large spring outdoor preview issue. So we needed a way to help our advertisers and manufacturers connect with anglers where traditionally they'd be able to do that this past week at the Fred Hall Show. And of course, that opportunity wasn't there. So we had to think of something to help them promote their businesses a little bit. And that's up on our website right now and available to all of our subscribers. But it's also available to anybody who goes on the homepage of our website. You don't even need a subscription to look at it.
Yeah, actually,
and it'll be there until April 30th.
I actually just got mine.
You got the monster.
Just got the one. Yeah, and it's pretty thick, man. It's a lot of info there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the post office loves us when that one comes out. The postal bill on that one's pretty healthy.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And that's actually a really great idea, to where, you made lemons out of lemonade where we didn't have a Fred Hall Show typically, and you just kind of gave it all, in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's some really cool information on different lodges, different sport boats, tackle manufacturers, outboard motors. There's a little bit of everything in there for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, as a reminder, if you have any questions for Chuck, make sure you drop them in the comments below. We'd love to answer them. But, Chuck, you have all these tournaments coming up. You've got the charters coming up and all that. What's really the most beneficial way for the consumer side, at least your subscribers, to really get involved with Western Outdoor News?
The easiest way is to attend one of our charters. And there's a pretty broad variety of trips there. There's something in there for everybody. There's everything from 3/4 day trips to trips to Cedros Island. We just added a 3-day trip on the Polaris Supreme. That's going to be a little bit of an early season exploratory trip, chasing the bluefin, and everything in between. And, if you're not a saltwater guy, if you've got small kids and you want to get them out and just have a nice day fishing, I would suggest trying one of our family events. The Trout Cast at Lake Cuyamaca is a super easy event to attend over 2 days. The Trout Fest up at Big Bear Lake is the same way. They're just good, fun family events. And, you know, if you're a serious professional kind of angler, I'd try the one bass events on the freshwater side, or the tuna tournament, or the Yellowtail tournament down at San Diego Marlin Club. Both great events.
Excellent. Yeah. Wayne just said, what a great resource. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. And Wayne also has another question. What type of fishing is your favorite?
That's a tough one. So I love paddy hopping, chasing yellows and tuna, but I just as much love fishing calico bass. I'm definitely more of a saltwater guy, but that's really just because that's how I was brought up. My dad was, you know, like a lot of people, my father introduced me to fishing. I was on my first saltwater trip when I was 3, on the barge off Redondo Beach. And even, you know, it makes such an amazing impression on you. I can still remember parts of that trip. But yeah, I'm primarily a tuna and a yellowtail guy, but I'll fish calicos all day long.
Oh, you kind of stole the words right out of my mouth, because that's exactly what I like doing. There's, you know, for some reason you can get all the tuna you want, whether it's yellowfin, bluefin, you know, 100 pounds, 300 pounds, luckily.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, if you stick me out right beyond the kelp line off Point Loma or whatnot with calicos, yeah, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm a guy, I either love fishing them on surface iron or fly lining sardines. I enjoy throwing plastics, but those really, to me, those are my passions. That's what I really love to do.
Yeah, for sure. And since you brought up the surface iron, I have to ask you, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is just a standard green and yellow. My favorite jig is a Tatty 45. That's kind of my go-to.
Pretty common answer.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dave Brody is asking, I like the new digital format. Can you give an overview of the changes and enhancements?
Yeah, absolutely. So our old digital platform, unfortunately, was what was called a traditional flip book, where you'd click a page and flip the page. The problem with it wasn't mobile friendly. You couldn't view that issue of Western Outdoor News, at least not easily, on your cell phone. You know, you'd have to pinch your phone and zoom to look at the page. You couldn't really read it. The main differences in this new software are that, one, it is formatted for a cell phone. And 2, the key feature, and it's what they call a pop-up feature. If you're on page 1, which usually has 5 or 6 stories, and you know, a lot of times those stories, depending on the length, will be continued on another page, right? But if you were to double tap on any one of those stories on that page, the entire story comes up. You don't have to flip to another page to get to the next story. And just by looking at the cursor at the bottom of the page, you can immediately just thumb through and flip to every single story without flipping the pages. And all of the pages now in the digital edition have links to all the different advertisers, all the manufacturers. And you can also, the archives are available for all the past issues of Western Outdoor News. They're up on the website too. So yeah, it is a much, much better experience. And we email all of our subscribers every Tuesday just to let them know that the digital edition is available, and they can just click on it and go. You sign in once. It's been a little challenge with some of our subscribers to figure out the new sign-in process, but once they figure it out, they're set and ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How long ago did you make that switch from the digital flip book to now?
We started the process of this new digital software last June. And unfortunately, and again, this is a COVID issue, our our provider, which is actually based in the United Kingdom, had all of their employees working at home. So there was a little bit of a communication lag internally at their company. And we finally just got everything up and running here February 1st.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I've been actually waiting for a good time to ask, but I can't help to notice that you have a sheep head back there.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah, he's up on the wall here in the office. Usually he just hasn't, we haven't found a good place for him yet. Yeah, he's a big one, big old male.
I was just about to say that's pretty big from here. It's got to be gigantic up in person there.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's probably a good solid 15 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Steve Carson says, yet another Redondo kid.
You're right, Steve. I used to fish the city of Redondo all the time as a kid. I'd rent skiffs there and, get a bait sled and fish outside the bubble. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Wayne says, miss the barges.
Yeah, I do too. The barges, I'm sure there are a lot of reasons why you can't have a barge under today's regulations. But my God, especially the barge that used to be off Redondo up there in Santa Monica Bay. What a great place to fish, because it was anchored out far enough that, you could get some pelagics there. For sure, you could get some big bonita. And I know they used to catch yellowtail off of that barge and an occasional small bluefin too. It's just a great way to introduce someone to fishing.
Yeah, I've heard those stories too. And actually, Mike Lum was just talking about that right on the podcast too at the last episode.
Oh, how funny. I didn't even hear that one. I didn't even hear Mike. That's great.
Yeah, he went into the barges and, just these massive bonito are just getting caught right off those barges back then.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Robert says, woohoo, digital is good. Absolutely. Dave Rohde says, thanks. My digital sign-in is now automatic and it works great.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, once you sign in one time and just click remember me, you never have to sign in again.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, with Western Outdoor News, we've talked primarily about saltwater today and, but you go into not only saltwater, but freshwater, and we haven't even touched on the hunting side too.
Right. Big time. No, we have a very dedicated, loyal following of hunters. And, hunters for sure here in California are in the minority, right? But there's still a lot of dedicated guys. We have a lot of turkey hunters, a lot of pig hunters. Buddy just sent me a photo of his daughter up on the Central Coast who, on her first hunting trip after getting her hunting license, on her first shot, just stoned a 180-pound boar. We love hearing stories like that. And we have the deer hunters and the elk hunters too. We have a lot of guys who hunt out of state, to go bag a trophy or shoot a ram. But yeah, big hunting, dove hunting, pheasant, quail.
So let me get this straight. First shot ever, she bagged a 180.
First shot ever with a, let's see, she was shooting a 300 Win Mag, which has a little bit of a kick to it. And she actually even skinned it herself. But that's dedication to the sport right there.
No kidding. No kidding. I mean, I've got to say, all the riders that you have are dedicated to their craft, whether it be, the guys up north in Santa Barbara, or even down here in San Diego, or even the lakes up in the Sierra Nevadas as well. Yeah,
very much so. They're all passionate enthusiasts. It's like you and me, it's part of our lives. It's what we do, and it comes out in their writing for sure.
Yeah. And with those riders, I mean, you've got the best of the best there with, some of all the names that we know for sure. And the rest of the industry knows as well.
Yeah. We have some great folks. I mean, look at guys like Merritt.
I was just about to say Merritt.
Probably the smartest angler on the water, and, with his background in marine biology, and all the time he spent on the sport boats, particularly up out of Santa Barbara, he's such a great guy, and he's just so knowledgeable, and it comes through in his stories every week.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, you just mentioned, you had hunters out of state. Any plans to kind of broaden it from California a little bit? I know you said that you kind of dabble into Arizona, but any plans on the horizon to kind of grow and expand?
Well, there could be a time in the future where we kind of move a little further east into the Western states. That's just going to have to be something we evaluate here over the next couple of years. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Awesome. I know time's winding down here. Don't want to keep you too long, but what kind of exciting events? I know we kind of just talked about the charters and all the tournaments, but all that, but one more time, could you give us a rundown on what's new and exciting for 2021?
Sure. So the newest event for us is the Trout cast. That's going to be at Lake Cuyamaca. And that's a 2-day event. And the grand prize at that event, which is a drawing prize, anybody who shows up and fishes can win, is a 14-foot boat. It's a 14-foot Klamath aluminum boat with a 20-horse Suzuki. And I think the entry fee for that one is maybe $75 for adults and $50 for kids. The other truly new events we're doing this year are the California Yellowtail Jackpot, which again is going to be mid-June, sponsored by our buddies at Suzuki and many others, but they're the title sponsor, and they're giving away that nice outboard for first place. We're doing an event with Strike King up in Northern California, which is a hourly weigh-in big bass tournament where you weigh in you can weigh in 1 fish per hour. And this will be on the California Delta. I believe it's May 22nd. And there'll be cash prizes every single hour of the event. And it's inexpensive.
I was going to say, that's pretty exciting. Get to weigh in 1 fish an hour.
1 an hour. And they're 1 every 2 hours. We have 2-hour weigh-in periods. And I think the first 100 people to sign up for that event get a rod from the guys at Luz and Strike King. And there'll be plenty of cash available for those weigh-ins every 2 hours for sure.
You can't go wrong.
No, you can't, you really can't. And those are all of the truly new Western outdoor news events. And then we're just going to keep it going with our traditional events. Most of the one bass events are already sold out for the year. The US Open is sold out with over 250 boats signed up. There's a wait list to get into that one. And, the other major event, of course, for us, the big one is the Los Cabos Tuna Jackpot. That's a very special event for us. It's the world's largest and richest tuna tournament. We paid out over $1 million at that event last year. But we also raise a tremendous amount of money for charity while we're down there too. Our tournament participants are very generous, and we work with an organization called Smiles International. And American doctors fly down to Cabo 2 or 3 times a year, and they rent surgery room time, and they perform cleft palate surgeries on children there in Cabo San Lucas. Yeah, so pretty cool. And that's kind of like every man's event. We literally had, because you can enter that event for as little as $1,000, or you can go all in all the jackpots and enter for $44,000. And we have everything in between. Last year we had 150 boats, from Pongas to literally we had a guy in a 130-foot yacht. And everybody is able to compete in that event, which is why it's such a fun event.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've never personally participated in that, but that seems like an ultimate dream, just to be able to go down there, have some fun, and do it for a good cause too. It's
a lot of fun. I know one of the listeners mentioned a bucket list. That's a bucket list tournament for sure.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, I know, with Western Outdoor News, it's subscription based, but how do we get online and how do we get to read the magazine the magazine every week?
Yep. Easy. You just go to wonews.com, WONEWS.com, and click on the digital edition tab and it'll pop right up for you.
Excellent. And, as we talked about, earlier, you just sign in once with your digital subscription and it remembers you.
That's right. Once you're a subscriber and you log in once, it saves your information and you never have to log in again.
Excellent. And for those of us that are kind of weird, or I guess interested and have kind of writing skills, how do we submit stuff to try and get featured in the newspaper?
Yep. Send any submissions to editors, EDITORS, at WOnews.com. And if they have any questions, they can always also email me at chuck@WOnews.com.
Excellent. And real quick, I know for us podcast listeners, want to plug the podcast as well?
Yeah, thank you. So the Western Outdoor News podcast is, available on most platforms. It's available on YouTube. You can find it on your iPhone. And all of the podcasts are archived on the homepage of our website as well. But, like any podcast, if you subscribe on your mobile device, it'll download every time a new episode is up. And we typically try to do about one a week.
Excellent. I know personally, I've got a long drive up to Bakersfield to go visit our friends over at Cope's Tackle tomorrow. I'm going to be listening to all those episodes, catching up too.
Oh, good deal. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chuck, it's been an absolute treat. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you coming on.
Likewise, Chris. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We will be back next week and stay tuned then. Awesome. My name is Chris from CCA. That's Chuck from Western Outdoor News. Take care.
Thanks.